Hello, lads and gents, and welcome. Welcome to Talent League Titan Qualifiers, aka quarterfinals number 3. Today we're going to be looking at a very nice match, it's very hot outside, but this is going to be even more heated as TT9 is going to be facing off against Myth. Now, before we actually get into the action itself, let's introduce us to our fellow caster and our analyst. Hello, Noctish, and of course, Pasta.
Hello there, hello there. Hope everyone stay hydrated. I was going to say dehydrated. Everyone stay hydrated and hello. Yeah, indeed, it's going to be an amazing match. Myth TT9 recently playing R6 Combine, so yeah, waiting for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly looking forward to this one. I know Stacks will be as well. Obviously, the last time Myth played when they won 7-2 against Dun Limited, I actually had the pleasure of interviewing Stacks after that game, and he said that the team he wanted to face up against was TT9, and he got that quarterfinal matchup that he wanted.
Yeah.
So this should hopefully be a very good game.
Oh, yes, it will. But for the maps, it's going to be even more interesting. We do not get Oregon or Clubhouse, but we're going to be getting Theme Park as the first one, continuing on to Bank as the decider. It will be Villa. So, two very great and kind of unique maps to start them off. It's going to be interesting to see them.
Exactly. So recently, Myth has played on Theme Park, but unfortunately lost it in national qualifier of R6 Combine. And on the other hand, TT9 lost Bank in a close game versus Virtus Pro in EU qualifiers. So we have the first two map that both team has lost it. So I really want to see how these teams approach the maps that unfortunately wasn't best for them, I can say.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, although both of these maps have been a bit down for both of these teams, you could say I'm still interested how these teams will play. I mean, it's different maps that different teams lost on, but we still don't know how the vice versa would go for each team. So with that in hand, I mean, right now most of the players are in the lobby. We're just, yeah, most of the players are in the lobby. We don't have confirmation, right?
But it'll just be about a minute.
All right.
So yeah, we've got about a minute to go. Yeah, I'm excited for Theme Park. And I'm just gonna put it out here. I think Myth take this map. That's my prediction. I'm not gonna say my prediction for the whole series, but I reckon honestly I think we might go to all three. But I think Myth take this one. They've looked really strong on Theme Park, and it's always a delight to watch them play this map as well. They bring such unique ideas into it. Yeah, I reckon that this could be the map that they win.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, to be honest, I feel like I have a very strong feeling that it's gonna go to Villa. Seeing as how the performance have been on Bank and Theme Park for each team, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be very one-sided for each of them, and then the last one is gonna be kind of the decider, and it's gonna be close. I feel like it could very much be close. Now, with that in mind, I mean, TT9 is still a strong team, but like you said, Myth has been performing quite well themselves. So
I'm expecting, I actually going to favor Myth a bit. So I'm not going to say it's going to be the map 3. I think Myth can actually wrap it in the two maps, so 2-0. But I'm completely excited. Bank is a map that historically is one of the oldest, and TT9 they have players which are completely familiar and strong in Bank. I would say Kanto, for example. So maybe we see two close games, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely it's going to be looking towards that. But without further ado, let's go to map number 1, aka Theme Park. And, Pasta and me are going to be taking it away from here with you.
Yeah, Theme Park heading over to Hong Kong, and we're going to be we're very privileged to actually be seeing this map. We only saw it once in the group stage. It was that Myth game, and they looked so dominant on it. I didn't necessarily expect us to actually go here, but TT9 have let it come through, and I mean, it's pretty obvious why Myth have decided to pick into this one. Yes, they may have had a couple slip-ups in the Combine, but Like, yes, sure, Unlimited got grouped, but that sort of prowess cannot be understated because we know what Unlimited can do on this map. It just goes to show that Myth, despite being a tier 3 team against this TT9 side, who, tier 1 experience, is very much a much more level playing field than you might expect.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But actually, I do want to talk about the bans for a second. We did have the Nook taken out, which it's reasonable. Nook, with how quiet and stealthy she is, she can get around anywhere. Has good frags, and with all that comes with great frag potential. The Monty will be interesting though. He's seemingly getting brought back in. He doesn't have much frag potential, but he's just a walking indestructible drone. Where can you go wrong with that? As on defense, it's going to be the Azami, a very good pick as well. I mean, I don't need to explain, do I?
No, the keep barriers are just very, very strong. You can remake every bomb site on any map, really. And Mira going away as well, another one of these operators that has been called architect operators by Ubisoft themselves. Thinking about Azami, think about Mira. The other one is Castle as well. Those operators that just have the ability to really restructure a bomb site, just really change up the way it's played. Obviously, you can make brand new lines of sight with the mirror windows while still being behind some bulletproof utility like the reinforcements. You can do so much with that they really do, and it's the fact that they're bulletproof as well. The mirror windows, the keeper barriers, castles, gadgets as well. Very, very strong. They can restructure anything, and that's why we see 2 of those being banned away. But that does leave Solis and Valkyrie open, which we will see Kanto and Astro bring along. Which, that's another point. Astro on TT9. Sloth is out for this game. I'm not entirely sure whether this is a recent development or just an emergency substitute. I did notice that Astro has been playing in other leagues with TT9 as well, instead of Sloth. So that's another thing that needs to be thought about. Obviously, Sloth did play with TT9 in the group stage.
Yeah, I do want to mention one more thing. You mentioned the Solus, we have the Valkyrie. There's, since the Mira and the Azami are already banned, we also get the chance to see a bit more of the Fenrir, this operator who has been also being banned quite a decent amount, especially for how new he is, especially with how strong his gadget can prove to be in gunfights, and also kind of pushing attackers or forcing them away from a position, backing off, or either just getting shot dead on the spot. Depends on how you really want to play with him. If you're aggressive, you can have him on a hallway, you activate it, peek it, they can't really do much. Or you can just force it to waste time, or whatever you really want to do with it, but still a strong operator. This is a very considerable one. And of course, a Cade, who used to be pretty much a bad neighbor for the landing side.
Yep.
And it's interesting how much more we get to see him.
Yeah, well, with Thatcher not being banned as much, Thatcher and Cade were banned often went hand in hand. So that's possibly why we see Cade a little bit more in the limelight, as focusing on towards the round now, because we have been waffling for about 40 seconds, or maybe 50 even now. It is going to be Trophy at Armory and Throne. I don't know where I got Trophy from. It's Armory and Throne. And it's a very strong site on this map specifically. It's often the ones that a lot of teams will pick as their primary. And Astro, we talked about him possibly being that replacement, finding impact immediately, opening pick. Swarm, though, does find a bit of a response back for Myth, taking down Kanto. That's a Solis going down early in the round. Very, very good utility to take away.
Yeah, most definitely. The Solis getting traded out for the Twitch isn't bad at all, but the time is running low. I mean, they still need to get their preparation in set. Now, with that,
map.
What?
They're barely in the map. Like, that's...
yeah. Like, I think it's a really bad thing when you go up against a team who needs to get their preparation like really late in, because if you bring a smoke, if you bring anything like that, supports, flankers, whatever it is, it's all gonna fall down in an instant. So you gotta be as quick as possible, and not only roam clearing, but in this map you have to do it fast. This map is huge. You have a lot of rotations in the flanker or any type of you have a lot to put. A swarm gets taken out. A nice one by Astro. Throws the C4. Yes, he does. He gets one, taking some damage off of Stacks, it seems like. As it's going to be a double kill for him. Joined by Azza. He's going to be getting one onto Piyuko as it's left in a 2v4 situation. Oh, the big came in, but that DMR won't be much of a help against Astro. I mean, he is holding that MPX with his dear life, and that is not a bad gun, but it is bad to go up against. The drop comes in. He gets a triple kill, and a C4 coming in, getting TT9 their first round. Oh, wow. Oh my
What a round that was! I mean, Astro certainly bringing that experience that we've seen from teams like Team Secret, like Gamma Gaming back in the day. Remember Gamma? Remember those days? A lot of experience showcasing that immediately in this first round. You know, we bigged up Myth in the pre-game mainly just to highlight that they are also a good team. We know how good TT9 can be. They have played in. They are a tier 1 team, right? But that is just the showcase of what this team can do. You had a couple C4 kills in there as well, Noah and Astro with 3 picks, not even dying at the end of it. What a round from TT9. They were able to just stay evaded, avoid the trades coming through from Myth. And they just had some really good positions. And another thing to point out was just the time. Myth took a bit too long to actually get set up. If they had more time, then they possibly wouldn't have found themselves get caught out in the way they did, and they also probably wouldn't have just had to force drop the hatch, because let's face it, they were up against with only about 20 seconds. They just had to do something, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, wasting that much time was a very good just side from TT9, but I feel like Myth could have very much ran it faster. And also, it's the point, you know, you take verticality so you can cut off rotation. But they were the ones getting taken down. The sled got shot out, and the C4 came in, even managing to damage stacks, I do believe, a bit.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do that for verticality. I mean, you want to make it a bit more put a disadvantage on the defending team. Now, I mean, since the defenders kind of swapped the roles and decided to do that to them, it just shows, yeah, like you said, TT9 is absolutely blasting their shots right now. And, I mean, for the first round, very well attempted. Wasted time? Perfectly. Played it on site, nice and safe? Perfectly. Played it aggressively when needed on the, you know, on the top floor? Perfectly. It seemed like it all just went nice and smooth, barely even losing a player. Although it was the Solus, which is, you know, a bit of a bad trade, still, in the end, it was worth it since they managed to end up in a 4v2 situation.
This is honestly a bit more of a reserved Myth than I'm used to seeing. We usually see them be a little bit more aggressive. They are still, you know, taking those gunfights. They're not shying away from it. Now, I wouldn't say they're intimidated, but they are definitely giving a bit, maybe a bit too much respect to TT9 as Azza finds his first pick again, does find himself getting injured, and there's another kill onto Noah as well. Now it's advantage for Myth. The Swarm finds another. Azza's down. It's a 4 versus 2 this time, going the other direction. Choco gets in on the action as well, and Kanto has it all to do now. Suddenly, after a few seconds, it's completely changed around. Kanto does find one, but that's all he's good for. Swarm shuts it down, and Myth, a new face here in round number 2. It's all tied up, one round apiece.
Oh my goodness, how well did that switch? Previous round, it seemed like TT9 was absolutely demolishing Myth, but, well, how the turns have tabled, you could say. I mean, Swarm getting a triple, even a quad kill, some around there. Azza getting taken out, like, instantly. I mean, he peeked it for a second, didn't even get a shot at it as he was just taken out. And then, of course, the Solus, aka Kanto, left alone, tried to go for a bit of a flank. But it was expected. I mean, that was just an absolute shutdown right there. Couldn't really do much against it, as with all that was left was really just protect site, go for flank. I mean, you're getting so much aggression. Although I do feel like Myth just completely switched everything. Previous round, they were playing it safe. They were on the roof. They took their time getting into the building. Right now, a minute in, boom, they're inside cash. They're shooting their shots. It's all over pretty much. And with that, I mean, that's how the round finished. As, you know, it seems like they're back to equal. They're 1-1, not looking too bad. But it doesn't even look close. You couldn't say, like, oh, yeah, it's always down to the last player. Oh, wow, it's a 1v1. It's a plan. It's whatever. No, it's either... It always comes down to a 4v2 somewhere in the end.
Like, we've had 2 very decisive rounds here between these teams. And again, these teams are equal. That's the thing that we should point out. Yeah, there's different experiences, but you have obviously TT9 going through a bit of a roster shuffle up after that first stage of EUL. Coming into the off-season, that's a big time for them to mix things up, get very secure in their roster. For Myth, they are now under an org. They used to be jobless in Talent League Season 9. If you've seen some of these names before, wondering where you recognise them from, that's where. They made it to the Champions Series, unfortunately lost in the quarterfinals there. But again, they did kind of use the minor league as a little bit of a troll. This time they're playing seriously, and you can see the difference it's making with them, actually. You can see the experience is definitely increasing for them.
Oh, yes, it is. And as we get this started, Kenju is going to be the first one getting taken out by Stacks. A very nice early kill, especially on the Legion, who still had gadgets to spare. But at least it wasn't a Solus. And we don't have any C4s on the side of TT9, which could be looking bad just for any vertical play for the defenders right here and there. As, of course, you know, man advantage is dropped quickly. And nade comes out. A very nice one. Swarm getting one on to the side of the Mute. And that's going to be making it a 5v3, coming in aggressive. It's going to be the Sledge again, seemingly pretty much in sight, but he is being held as he gets taken out by the Warden. But the Warden will be getting taken out himself. Double kill from the side of Stacks. The plant is going down, and Kanto yet again left alone in the situation. And yeah, there it goes. It's going to be Slayers finishing it off with the plant down. Not much to do. And yet again, this aggression. They just came in, took their building, their site, and, you know, yoinked it from them.
Well, guess what was in... Guess what the man count was in that round, Bob. I'll give you one guess to what it was at one point in that round.
I'll say a 4v1.
It was a 4v2 for the third round in a row.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, well, and also technically a 1v4, because I think we did also have that situation in every round so far. But yeah, these rounds have not been close. They've been very, very decisive. And hey, high octane action makes for good viewing. That's all I'll say.
True. That is very true. I mean, with all that in mind, still, Myth has been clapping back a bit harder. TT9 did seem to have a very good starting round. They managed to show what they can do, but Myth either just had some adaptation or they were just brewing something and they finally managed to put it all together, as the aggression just seems to be coming in. Yet again, it's just kind of a playstyle switch. First round, they played extremely passive. They're just going in. It seems like this is just their side. They're claiming it for their own. It feels like they're the defenders at this point.
Hey, Swarm is popping off. And
oh, yeah.
That also can't be understated.
6-2.
6-2 after 3 rounds. And we didn't necessarily see that much of an impact in round 1. And it goes to show, like, Myth are... These guys can shoot. Like, that's kind of been the thing that sort of carried them through last season as well, was that ability to shoot, because they didn't necessarily bring the best strategies. They only banned Ossa or something like that. It was an interesting time for them, and it's been really fun to see them in these more competitive environments. And that 7-2 against Unlimited, just another reason as to why this team, like, they always provide good entertainment. TT9 as well. They had such close games in their group. This game, and it's providing the action that we anticipated that we had. You know, we talked about it in the pre-game as well, that this should be a close match. This should go to all 3.
Most definitely. I mean, I feel like Theme Park is going to have a very much different way of handling itself than Bank itself. I feel like there's going to be a very distinctive difference. And with that in mind, I'm interested to see what there goes, as Azar is going to be getting the one taken out. Slayer's looking on low HP, but Shoko did manage, you know, to kind of return that damage in some sort of way, as the Oryx, the main roamer you can consider besides Soulless, is going to be out of the match. Now, the Valkyrie actually, that's a Valkyrie camera getting controlled by the Twitch. That's the
power of Dockerby. That's the power of Dockerby.
Oh, true.
Hacking those defender cams, Slayers has been able to grant all of that information to this attacking side. Obviously, those cameras will still be in use by the defenses. Well, Slayers is trying to open up this hatch. The Impact TMP's not quite going to cut it, I'm afraid, in this instance. The Electro Claws from the Clyde of Noah are going to still stay keeping that hatch just a little bit protected, as now the pressure starts to come through onto the site a little bit more. We can see those vertical angles being opened up by Swarm, and this time they have plenty of time and they have the player advantage as well to be able to utilize, taking out those FNAT dredge mines from the Fenrir. Also dealing with the electrification allows that breach to be opened with 30 seconds left in the round. This should be the final execute coming pretty quickly through. Just checking the flanks as well, making sure that nothing untoward can happen because, again, they are in that 5v4. They do have the advantage until Kanto gets involved. Shoko going down, making it 4 versus 4, and the timer continuing to dwindle. Kendrew getting in on the action as well. Noah now starting to aggress, taking out Puko. Now a 2 versus 4, as again, Kendrew finds another 1v4. It's not enough. Kanto with 2 massive kills in the round there, shuts it down, and that's another successful defense for the side of TT9. It's all tied up 2 rounds apiece.
Oh my goodness, wow. I was expecting Myth against Stacks, maybe along with Swarm. Of course, Swarm along with Stacks, you know, to kind of go on a spree yet again, but they got shut down quite quickly, as an entire team seemed to fell off in the end. And with that, I mean, TT9 was just absolutely aggressive back at them. You know, TT9 showed their teeth, they barked, but in the end, it was, of course, Myth that managed to outbargain them to some situation. Now, with that in mind, we're going to be going over to Daycare. And this is also an interesting site because you still have to, or not have to, but it'd be preferable if you can extend over into the side maybe a bit more of the time for maintenance, or CC, I would say, not maintenance.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is going to be, yet again, a very aggressive playstyle. I wouldn't be surprised if I were to see an Amaru here just going into break, or whatever you may call it, but... So, this is
That's a very Myth thing to do. That's a very Myth thing to do. Just pick the Amaru, go straight in.
Oh, God. I'm crossing my fingers to see it.
Oh, it's not gonna happen. Boo. Boo.
Let's get him kicked out of town right now. Oh, yeah.
Well, the round then. We should... let's maybe think about what's actually going on, because we do have a Kapkan in play, Azza being the one to bring that little Russian boy along. He's going to be just making it a little bit slower for the attackers to enter into the map, and also, you know, because they're going to be checking everything, and take them a bit longer, and also they're going to be paranoid as well, and if they don't drone it, well, that's when the actual damage is going to come through, possibly taking out 1 or 2 of the attackers that you would expect to rush in pretty quickly. Another player to point out actually is Shoko, MVP of Group D. Obviously, that's the group that Myth played in. Popped off had like overall a 1.53 rating in the entire group, which is just absolutely ridiculous, including a 1.72 rating against the side of Dunlimited on this very map, but a little bit subdued. 3-2 right now, obviously still chance to turn that around. There are always 2 halves to a game of Siege, as they say, but you know, that's another player that we are looking to have that impact. However, Swarm stepping up massively, just the rest of the team are maybe leaving a little bit to be desired. You know, not to point out any certain players, but being on 0 kills is not ideal. Whereas TT9, all of them are looking pretty even.
Yeah, you don't really want to necessarily count on someone just fragging out each round, because if they're the ones getting taken out, you kind of have to rely on something you haven't been used to or haven't been getting warmed up in the previous one. So getting even is a lot better. And with that, I am interested on seeing the Frost a bit more. Maybe we could see some trap plays, as Pyuko is going to be getting the one taken out, but he gets finished not only by the trap, but also by the gun. This is going to be the Kapkan, a very sneaky one to go around with. You know, Swarm taking some damage as well, but this is very late. We have 50 seconds on the clock, and they're not making much progression. They need to start going. We still have not everyone on site. They can just go back and start defending it with all they have, and it's going to be pretty much just blazing fire. They can get the breach, but the problem is you need to get rid of the gadgets. You can't allow the defenders to just keep everything they have. Their setup, you need to shut it down. There it is. The electricity does get taken out, and it will be Hibana breaches on it, but I feel like the time is just too low.
Yeah, it's only 25 seconds left on the clock. Diffuser in hand, what do you do? Well, it seems like they're going to have to just try and force these angles. Kendry's sitting back. Kanto finds himself being taken down on the yellow stairs. But the defenders are still just going to hold these positions, hold these angles, maybe get a little bit aggressive, try to find the peaks, and indeed, Astro taking down Stacks. Noah does get taken down, and it's now a 2 versus 1. Choco with a massive triple kill in the round. Kendrew still holding on, but they don't have the diffuser. Choco tries to find it, but the TCSG pulls through, and that's a clutch for Kendrew, and that's a round for TT9.
Oh, what a clutch you could say. I mean, it all got heated up for a second. It was Myth in the easy advantage. But in the end, of course, the Warden took out one, took out the second, did manage to get taken himself out. But that forced the attackers to be completely somewhere else than where the Cade was, as all the Cade had to do was sit in that break room, maybe lay down, get a bit of a coffee break, and shoot that TCSG for his life as he managed to stall it out. Taking out Twitch, the diffuser wasn't there. And of course, the time ran out, and that's what we keep on saying. You can't go for these late executes, even if there's sometimes risks to take. You know, you want to be safe. Okay, maybe you want to clear out the roamers, but this is a pretty decently big map. There's not enough time to clear the entire thing out and get the execute off clearly, because you need to get the breach. You need to, of course, make sure some rotations are cut off. You need to get gadgets out of the match. You need to do all of this, and then if they have a smoke, a Goyo, or a Tachanka, that's also another issue. So time is a really precious thing. That's why, you know, when you have the diffuser down, it's the defenders who are on a time limit. But still, you need to get to that point, and that's the most troublesome part, especially in the end. In the final 10 seconds, you're kind of just forced to shoot, just go guns blazing. I mean, you don't have much of an option, and that's what happened with Myth. Although it wasn't looking bad, the time ran out, ironically, and, well, they managed to... TT9 managed to win their third round, going into the last one for the goal swap. Now, kind of interesting how things will go once, you know, TT9 is on the attack and Myth is on defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see as well. Obviously, things can very much change when you get to that side swap, and it can be just that factor that one team needs to just run away with things. You know, we've seen 2-4 halves end in a 7-4 because one team is just straight up better at one of these sides. So again, we need to try and find something from here. Obviously, only the one theme park play as well. Defenders do have 56% of the round wins, but again, that's only from one game. You can't really go off of that too much, especially as, it was only one game. We don't necessarily have all of the information, but it seems like defenders might be doing pretty well, because Astro taking down Shoko, who had a massive showing in the previous round, you know, completely shut me up, slapped me in the face, but not going to find any impact inside of this one. And Astro still getting aggressive. TT9 a good start, and they're well on their way to a 4-2 half here, Bob.
Yes, they are. It could be looking good if you manage to go forward too, especially on this map. As another kill gets dropped, it's going to be Swarm getting taken out. The golden hand of Team Myth as of current. Yoko joining in, a double kill. Stacks as well. No. And now it's a 1v5 situation. Do we get to see the flawless? Don't get too cocky. TT9 right now, you can't. The rollover comes out, and it's going to be the Ally finishing it, making it a flawless round and a 4-2 for TT9. Oh my goodness, they are so merciless. Pasta, help out. This is breaking me down. Oh my god.
That was just so aggressive. Stacks obviously taking the drop as well, right into the waiting arms of Astro, who we've mentioned a couple of times throughout this game as having those big rounds, those big moments that really send TT9 across the board. That is just one of the examples. I think found 3 kills inside of that round, possibly 4, but I believe it was 3. Yes. Wild, absolutely wild. and now it's picked immediately into the Cali, because of course, why not? Why not? Obviously that could change. So let's look at the defensive composition. I'm seeing the Fenrir again. Seeing the Fenrir. No, we're seeing the Fenrir again. What do you make of that? Obviously, seeing the Echo for the first time as well.
I mean, the Fenrir yet again with the amount of. I feel like Myth has been playing it a bit too passive. They haven't been taking their chances too much, as TT9, as showing the result, definitely has. So I'm feeling Fenrir can either be that type of switch, that lever, that whatever you button to kind of switch him onto that, you know, let's actually get into the action. Let's take this gadget. Okay, we activate it, we go in, we get 2, we get 3 maybe. But I do want to, I want to go back to the point you made previously, Pasta. It was Myth right now. We have Swarm 6 skills, Chaco 6 skills, then we have 2, 0, and 2. Look at TT9. We have 6, 4, 3, 2, 7. It is, you don't want to have rely on two players, even though if it's not their intention, it's the fact that it's still happening. This is not good, and you don't want to keep it up. You want to kind of switch it out a bit. Not necessarily, especially with the Slayers being on the Solus. You do want to make sure that the roles are doing their jobs a bit better.
Yeah. Well, hey, maybe Slayers is just a defender-sided player, right? Obviously, we haven't seen any defenses in this map so far from Myth. It could get completely changed up here on this half. You know, always two halves of the game of Siege. I know I say it a lot, but it is very, very true. It's not just traditional sports. As Swarm gets in on the action as well. A 7th kill for him inside of this game, and that's Astra going down, one of those big hitters from TT9, who we look to see in that first half having those big moments. This time, round 7, not going to be allowed to get any further.
Oh yes, Astral will be the one getting taken off the board, which is the Ash and seemingly the best player on TT9 as when it comes to frags, so that's going to be an interesting pick. Most definitely could be very effective. As, I mean, along with that, we still have all the defenders. Yet again, we have Puko here pretty much roaming along with the rest. I mean, they're pretty much set free. Oh, shots are going to be coming out pretty heavily as Kenzo taking some heavy damage on the brink of death, as, of course, it's going to be Puko getting taken out, along with Slayers, a double kill from the side of Kanto, and here it continues. This is the chain that we've been waiting for. TT9 coming in with aggression, and Kentru not getting taken out is going to be major. That Ace getting taken out would have been completely different, as, of course, you know, getting the one hard breacher, the main hard breacher, with not only a good gun, but good gadget, especially for a late round, would be essential. Not managing to do that is going to affect him quite dearly, I can say.
And Kendry's been popping off as well.
Oh, true. But not popping off enough.
Caster's curse. Unbelievable. Oh no. We did it. We cursed it. Unreal. Okay. Well, that's a thing that happened. Az's got a drone on the bomb site. Obviously, the Brava is able to hack those defender gadgets, but we still do have that issue of the hard breach. Those reinforced walls are not opened up, which means they have to force themselves in through these tight angles, through these tight sight lines, and that's going to be Kanto being shut down. Stacks another with Shoko finding 2 in the end round there, and that's Myth, a successful defense. Armory Throne proving to be a bit of a defensive fortress inside of this map, and well, it is the strongest site on this map. It makes sense, and well, at least sorry, my brain's gone blank. At least Myth aren't 5-2 down. That would be... True. I think that round 7 is major. Round 8 as well are kind of must-win rounds for the side that is underneath. Because you have... There's a big difference between 5-2 and 4-3, and there's a big difference between 5-3 and 4-4. If Myth are able to win this one, they level things up, and then it just becomes kind of almost a ranked shootout to try and get to that 7-round win point. So very, very important. However, Myth are not going to be able to play Armory Throne again. They just won it. They're going to have to wait 2 rounds to be able to play it again because they just won the bomb site. If they lost it, they would be able to pick again straight in. But yeah, they have to go somewhere else. Bunk Daycare, again, another strong defensive site, so I'm not necessarily too mad. If they went like Lab and Storage, I would continue calling Stacks a troller, but they seem to be playing with some sense.
Yeah, I mean, right now you do want to make sure at least you win 1 or 2 rounds, because if TT9 managed to get to a 6-3 score, it's looking really bad. Don't hear me out, but just... maybe your mentality and your everything kind of goes blank the second you realize you're 3 rounds away from evening the score, and they're 1 round away from winning. So, I mean, that's a really bad situation to go along with, especially with how potentially good you could be on this map. I mean, it seems like you said Armory and Throne were just absolutely dominant. I mean, they went for the breach on the side of Yellow Stairs or Middle Stairs, whatever you want to call it. The attackers were forced to push, but they just got shut down. It was extremely well from Myth. So let's hope they can keep that up on other sites, not just Armory itself. Because, I mean, if it doesn't continue on, we're going to possibly be seeing a match point very soon. Now, we do want to talk about, yet again, a bit more of the loadouts. It seemed like Echo has been quite a popular choice. Why do you think that?
I mean, Myth love Echo. Shoko especially. I think I've seen Shoko on Echo more than any other operator that they play. Like, Shoko is just a bit of an echo sort of fella, I guess. And Az is bringing along the brother for the second round in a row here. So again, we are also seeing a Fenrir in play, very, very strong. We've mentioned it a few times, obviously, just being this new, when I say new, the most recent addition to the defensive lineup from inside of Rainbow Six Siege. And it's good to see that he's getting some play, good to see that he's getting some use, as Shoko going down, at least not confirmed just yet, but now as it does confirm it, Astro sneaking up these arcade stairs. The proximity alarm will give away the position, but he's still able to run up, finds a double, Azza a second as well, and it's a 1 versus 5 out of nowhere. Slayer's the last player alive, and he's not going to be able to get much. It's a flawless round. TT9 shutting Myth absolutely out of this one. That was just so far so aggressive. That's the sort of punchy aggression we wanted to see out of Myth in that first half. We didn't quite see it. TT9 nailing it to a T, and understandably Myth going to be taking that tactical timeout, talk things through, slow down the pace a little bit, because that round was catastrophic.
Oh, yes, it was. Had to take a lap around the room for that one. I mean, just absolutely insane how it all went down. I mean, the Echo Enthusiast got taken out of the first, and then Astro just went up the stairs, took out the proximity, went for the ruining, got one, got the second, continued on the shriek, and then it's just like a chain, just a wreck, went through the side, got all the kills, and I mean, it was a flawless. It was the second flawless for TT9,
Unreal.
And it was just absolutely insane. How quickly it went from a 5v4 to like a 5v1. Hello? It just happened in a snap of a finger. And I mean, you could consider it that TT9's aggression is a bit overwhelming, which I will put it out there. It seemingly most definitely is. But with that ahead, I mean, Myth still has to do something against it. They can't just allow someone to go up into stairs going directly into side. Like, you just can't.
No, absolutely not. And yeah, because the thing is, a proximity alarm went off as well. They knew the position of Astro. Just a little bit of an oversight there. Maybe the communication is getting a little bit scrambled as all of the kills, all of that pressure came in at once. But we're going to go back to Bunk's daycare, and we're seeing a switch up. Stack's now playing Thorn. And considering that he's got the CZ, might even have the M870 shotgun as the primary weapon. I'm not entirely sure if they're just running around with a pistol right now, but he might have the shotgun. But that would be 3 shotguns, because Stacks maybe have the shotgun, Thorn definitely, and Shoko as well. They definitely have the shotgun. Shoko loves a bit of a supernova. I have to say as well, you know, sometimes when we've seen him play like Hibana on attack, it's just for that supernova. Same thing with Amari.
Yeah, most definitely. And then if Yuka also has a DMR, it could be quite troublesome. Yes, he does. So, I mean, if we have 3 shotguns and a DMR, it seems like there's not going to be much reliability on the actual fire rate. But, you know, if you can click on heads, might as well. Now, yeah, we're going to be also seeing on attack a bit of a new character. The Yang being brought out, and the defenders do not have a ward. So it could prove quite troublesome. We don't have an Amaru to kind of combo along with it, or maybe a Capitao, but it's certainly still going to be dangerous. Piyoko is going to be the first one to get taken out. TT9 back to looking at a very good start. Not even a minute in, and we're already getting heated up. As, of course, it's going to be the Rooney, but still better than probably most operators would still have some gadgets on hand.
Piyoko kind of struggling here in this map so far. And TT9 take advantage of that. Noah finding another kill. The highest rated player for TT9 in the group stage as well. 3 and 4 right now, as Astro, Azza, and Tendry are really those ones that are sort of picking up the slack there. But as the Candelas come through, Shoko is not going to be dissuaded. But Noah with the jump, and he's going to find one triple kill somehow. The TMR comes through, it's a quad. On for the ace, Swarm, last player alive. Azza's going to deny that possibility. TT9, 2 flawless rounds in a row here, Bob. Myth have just been completely shut out of this map so far. That's match point. That's map point. It is that 6-3, which you said we don't want to see. TT9, they want to see it, obviously, and they're well on their way to closing this out with a 7-3 scoreline. Not even close. Why aren't you going throne? Why have you gone initiate? Why have you not? Why?
Right, I do apologize. Seemingly my Discord did die off for a second.
Oh, nice.
So I had to resort to violence and almost restarting my entire PC. But yeah, what? I saw all of it. I saw
Nice.
that entire 4K going in instantly into a flawless round. The second flawless round in the second round in a row, won by TT9. I'm not the one thinking that just absolutely out of record, correct?
Pardon? Sorry?
I'm not the only one thinking that's absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, no, that's ridiculous. That's like 2 flawless rounds in a row from TT9.
My
It's just
God,
wild.
what a massacre! I
Yeah.
mean, the Rooney, I believe it was it Slayers? Actually, no, it was someone
It's
else.
Kiko.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you could just absolutely destroying. No, it was someone on
Oh.
TT9. It was
Oh, the
not.
Dokkaebi, not the Iruni. It's Noah again, who's now on 6 kills. And honestly, this is another thing that I want to bring up. Gendry's playing the Blitz, and I am just going to call out Noctish because before the game we were talking, and he said, "Oh yeah, Myth are going to easily take down TT9." I think he even said on broadcast it was going to be a 2-0 to Myth, and TT9. They have come out in force. I'm a bit confused as to why we aren't seeing Throne come through, because obviously that's where Myth won. It's available to be played again, but instead they go over to Initiation and Office. Interesting. That's all I'll say. As Swarm creeping up these stairs, the Blitz actually gets taken down, and Swarm finds a double before being shut down by Kanto. Noah as well gets back in on it. Hendry seems a little bit unhappy, but it's a 3 versus 1. Kanto Rakesi, the last player alive, but does find an aid, taking out Shoko. A second aid coming through, caught out by the ADS though. Puko is at least providing some of that utility after death, and it's Slayers to shut things down. Myth, they stay alive here.
No, a very good shot. Oh, very nice from the side of the Rooney. Didn't even expect it myself, as Myth is going to be securing themselves another round. But it's match point, Pasta. It's match point. This is looking really bad.
Yeah.
They need to win 2 rounds in a row. And how aggressive TT9 has been so late, or so far, it's just kind of unreactable. I mean, it goes from certain situations. Oh, yeah, it's 1 minute in, you know, we're looking fine. The next second, half of your team is just 6 foot under. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And it's always one player making such a difference. It's not like it's the whole team. It's one player going in, getting 1, getting 2, getting 3, just might as well get that entire team. Pick up my mom as well. It's absolutely insane.
And I just have a quick update. Obviously, we do have the other quarterfinal match coming on here as well. The Combine kind of made things a little bit tricky to schedule, so Heroic versus Ella's Academia Spirit is being played concurrently right now. The first map has just finished. It was a 7-5 victory on Heroic's map pick, Clubhouse, to Illa's Academia Spirit. So they have the first map in that series. They're going up 1-0, and now the ball is in Heroic's court for that series. So a lot of exciting things in the work there. I'm just going to see if I can try and find out what the second map is. It will be Chalet. Illa's a very good Chalet team, and Heroic are going to have to try and play against that, being a map down.
Oh,
so exciting stuff in the other game as well. Both of these games. It's a shame these 2 games are happening at the same time, actually, because both of them would have been wonderful to stream.
You know, we still got a good end receiving end. I mean, as long as we don't get any bad. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be Azure getting taken out. And Slayers as well by Kanto. A refract coming in, and still an interesting way to go about it, as the Dokkaebi could be coming in clutch. I mean, we have the Echoes in line. He put it out. Oh my god, Russian get the sight!
What?
They get 2 kills. A team kill comes out. Astro is in sight. It's a 2v3 situation. And they have the diffuser too. Am I dreaming? Please, someone snap me out of it. This is absolutely insane. You could even call it a nightmare for Myth. The plant is going down, and it seems like Dokkaebi will be there to stick it. As, of course, going into split, it's going to be Swarm getting taken out a 1v3,
What's
and this could be
happening?
looking like the very end. We're dreaming fast, and we are absolutely in a dream. This is
Hugo has to find his first frags of the map here in this clutch situation to try and keep Myth in it. Noah's on the prone angle, Astro sitting behind this half wall as well. It doesn't look very likely for Pyuko. Timer continuing to tick down, but it's actually Kanto to find the kills, and that's map 1. Myth Esports, their map pick. It goes the way of TT9 and a 7-4 scoreline. What a show we've just had put on here. Like, wow.
Wow, indeed. You know, you could call us flabbergasted. That was absolutely an insane match. TT9 bringing out all their aggression, all their trump cards as they absolutely demolished. I mean, look at these kills. 11, 9, 7, 8, and 6. As the enemy team is a bit more, you know, based off of two players all in all. They had a bit more 10 kills, and then it went down a bit. But that was absolutely insane. I mean,
Yeah.
holy. Just oh my goodness. I'm going to have to take a lap again around my room just to kind of shake it off. But
Yeah.
I do believe should we be going to the side of our lovely Noctish analyst just to kind of get a bit of a roundup what happened. Hello, Noctish. Tell us what
Welcome
happened.
back.
Hello there. Thank you for having me back. Actually, uh, what a game! What a game! And a huge amount of mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
What we actually saw was Team Myth making a huge amount of basic siege mistakes that we can actually see in ranked games.
Yeah.
Uh, and I didn't expect that. So, if you want to actually break it down, kinda, we can name some of these mistakes. First, for example, it was Choker, I believe, in I don't remember which round was it, but probably round 8, or yeah, it was round 8. That Choker died as Echo,
Yeah.
and instead of going to watch his teammates, the cams and etc., he went to watching his teammates. That's one
Oh.
of the most critical and basic mistakes that everyone can make in Siege, because you never know what kind of infos can be gathered through default cams, or even the possible cams your teammates has adjusted like a bulletproof. So that's one. The second one is that Myth was decent, a kind of decent in the first 2 or 3 rounds, but then after that they completely lost how they want to enter to to the building and to the map. So when you decide that, okay guys, we are going to enter into a specific entry point, you need to think of the possible ways the enemy can try to change your attack or completely ruin it by flanks, by using utilities or direct entry point denials, which TT9 perfectly executed such. They let the Myth misread their gameplay. They let the Myth even come into the depth of the depth of the map, and then take them out by unnecessary aggressive plays, uh, by making huge mistakes of not covering off each other. It was round, I believe, yeah, it was round 10, in which two TT9 players come from the arcade stairs and arcade window. One, make a diversion for the arcade window player to jump in, and
Mhm.
that player got 2 kills or 3 kills, nearly going for the ace later. So that's a huge mistake. It shows that Myth player cannot or not being able to find the separation of their focus. They cannot find the ability to pinpoint which part is more important or more critical. Is it going to be a diversion, because that arcade, the dude can play behind it or just fall back? You cannot shoot it really unless you go aggressive, or it's going to be 100% an arcade window jump in. These were mistakes that Myth repeatedly made, over and over again, and TT9 perfectly used the advantage and took the advantage of it by a better map knowledge, by better game read, and a very powerful combination and backup with each other.
Oh, yes. I mean, the amount of common mistakes, or at least not necessarily always common, but more mistakes that can be very easily fixed. I mean, even the first one you mentioned, just going to cams instead of players themselves, or actually going to players instead of cams themselves, is a lot of intel just being kind of swooped away without any question. And
Yeah.
Myth, I wouldn't necessarily say they dropped or trolled this match, but they most definitely have things that they could have improved on without any problem.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. But I mean, TT9 also had a phenomenal game. We cannot take away
Oh, yeah.
from their performance here, especially thinking about Astro. How many rounds did they pop off in that first half? And they ended it pretty convincingly as well. It was just a very, very strong match from both of these sides. But TT9, they made fewer mistakes. They played stronger Siege. That's kind of what it boiled down to in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, without further ado, let's actually go for a bit of a break. I think we all need to just cool down. Let's actually process all that happened. And
Yeah.
we'll be seeing you in a couple of minutes.
where is it written that all our dreams must be small ones?
And hello, and welcome back. We're going to be going into round number 2. If you didn't see the previous one, we'll be going over it very quickly. As, of course, it was TT9 that managed to win 7-4. A very nice score. But before we head into the bank, let's introduce back our lovely analyst, Noctish. Hello.
Hello there. Indeed, 7-4. What a game. Again, my second time that I have been wrong on predicting the games, but yep.
All right, man, it happens. But it was Theme Park. It's an interesting map to go through. There's many ways it can lead to it. But what would you say are the... How would I say it? You know, we mentioned their mistakes, but what do these teams do correctly?
So basically, when you face a map that is kind of look like a maze, we can name Theme Park, we can name New Consulate, of course, as two maps that they feel like a bit of maze. You need to find the perfect entry points. If the bomb site is upstairs, for example, sometimes the safest option is go through the middle floor, or the first floor in some cases, or even in the basement, or playing on the roof side patches, holding some angle. So in the first part you need to find the best entry point that works for you, and the way that it should works for you is you have drawn every angle, so you have all the options on the table to understand what kind of entries you can do. Am I going to be too super aggressive, or I need to chill a bit and look for everything possible?
Yeah, most definitely. These maps are quite big. But as we're talking about huge maps, we're going to be talking about Bankers. Let's head into it. Now we're going to be introducing our fellow casters, Velocity and Passed Up.
Thank you very much, Bob and Noctish. Velocity's finally here. We had
here,
a
finally.
couple like travel issues. It's okay, that happens. We're ready to hop into Bank. I don't know how much of Theme Park you were able to see.
None of it.
None of it.
I won't
Well,
lie.
let's just say TT9 Astro especially picked up, just put up an incredible show on that map. Like, it was impressive, and Shoko as well, and also Swarm were both players that had very, very big performances. However, I'm going to say we saw this Montaigne ban come in last time. It's happened again from Myth. They obviously do not like TT9 on this Montaigne. They want to get it out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean Monty on this map isn't necessarily always the first choice pick, which is quite interesting to see that Myth has banned it outwards straight away. But also is kind of OP when pushing down dirt. Can take that server control reasonably easily. Not coming pretty default. She's very, very OP on this.
Yeah. These are
very
the
OP
same
on this map, let's be
attacking
honest.
bans that we saw from the previous map. Myth banning out Montaigne, and TT9 banning out Nock. This one is different though. Solis, it was a mirror last time from TT9, who also is a very strong operator on this map. But if Myth now banned the Azami, that would be 3 out of the 4 operators being the same, banned out as in Theme Park. So could be just a bit of a theme. These teams don't like playing certain ops.
Nonetheless,
Ooh, Fenrir. Spicy.
I'd say that's interesting considering Myth has banned that. They could have used it, but alternatively, do you really want to be playing against the man that can make you blind and then you be shot at? So it's weighing up your options. It's 50-50. Do you want to risk play against him? Probably not, and especially against a team like TT9. I certainly wouldn't want to play either Pasta. So it's just a case of obviously, do you want to play him? Do you want to play against him? It's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah. We saw a lot of Fenrir in the previous map as well, particularly from TT9. Myth didn't necessarily have the same impact with it that we did see from the TT9 side, which is possibly why we see Myth being the ones to take this little Swedish boy out of the running for this map. It's very surprising to me, and this okay. I like that, actually. When they open the wall, it immediately gets set off. You don't have to worry about any of the extra, having to peek to shoot it. It's already going to be there. It's already going to buy you some time instead of allowing that quick rush to come through before you can react. I like that from Myth.
I'm not too sure about the feet holes there, Pasta. I mean, it kind of it restricts you massively on that side. Or on that room, sorry. It takes half of your mobility away because the whole room is basically visible. It's basically out. You can't play it, or else you will be killed. So I'm not quite sure about how I feel about those feet holes. But I mean, I have to agree with you with that. With the canisters, they are quite actually smart by all accounts.
Yeah. I really, really like the placement of those as we're getting into the first round here on Bank. It will be a basement defense, like we pointed out in the prep phase. And, well, there's information from both of these sides. And that's going to be Puko being taken down immediately by Azza. Stacks finds response. Slayers as well, making a 4 versus 3 very quickly. Myth have found the kills that they need to bring the player advantage back in their favor. And we've only seen a minute come through. 3 players off the board. As well, Azza is going to be able to take out that utility, deny some of the information from the defense, but a good start by Myth.
Great start by Myth. I mean, finding two frags onto the side of TT9 reasonably quickly, always good. We'll talk about this. One comes out back onto Swarm as Azza does find the refrag, and well, that does take down the Goyo. Yeah,
Goyo has placed all of his utilities. Still a decent gun though in the Vector. And half of the round is gone. Noah is getting closer to the side. It does have to be careful about this square hatch, obviously it being opened up, as we can see the first of those Vulcan characters canisters being popped straight away, just to deny and apply a bit of pressure to the Twitch that is playing inside a service. However, there is still information coming through onto the bomb site. Kendrew has found his way into the garage, now pushing up with the assistance of these flashbangs. Does spot the player going up the green stairs. Is going to be prone, not able to escape. Azza, Noah, Kendrew kills all, flooding the scoreboard in the final moments. As that's TT9. They get off to a great start here on Bank, and they start as they finished in the previous map. 1-0 to TT9.
Well, it was a very good start for Myth. They found 2 quick kills in quick succession onto the side of TT9, but TT9 just collapsed in the mid-round in the 3 versus 3, and well, it was just then all TT9 sided around the minute. I'd say around a minute and 30 left. It was all just the side of TT9, and well, they just did everything better than Myth in all, you know, team coordination, gun skill. We like to look at the positives, but when the team does something completely better than another team, you have to point it out.
Yeah, absolutely, and well, doing a thing good is positive. Just to
true. Yeah, all right. It's been a long day, Pastor.
Just saying, yeah, I understand. I mean, what a round that was by TT9 though. Again, Azza as well had such a good start to Theme Park, and continuing to have a good start to this map to really ease TT9 into these games, like without. Didn't necessarily have, the highest KD, but certainly helped them ease into the map, get into that sort of winning pattern in the first few rounds. And Myth, they don't necessarily have that. We did see Swarm, we did see Shoko with those big performances in Theme Park, but it just wasn't to the same level as TT9, and the kills were much more in favor of TT9. The scoreboard on their side was so much more even, whereas Myth was very spread out. Puko is yet to get a kill in this series so far. That's a thing to keep your eye on.
With all players that have poor performances, always follow up with great. So you never know, we could be seeing an absolute Puko masterclass in this Bank match. So it is a case of waiting and seeing. We are seeing the Oryx being picked. His pick rate has gone down drastically though, Pastor, since he lost his 1.5, but nonetheless, he's going to be picked on this side of Bank. It's reasonably OP. Shots go out, and Stacks finds one. Kenji off the board, instantly refragged by Kanto, and they do now have the wall open. It's not looking particularly good here for this side of Myth, as Kanto finds one more. Choco with an amazing shot and takes down Choco. Astro finds one more, though.
And there's a good response from Puko. Finds his first kill of the series, but Azza is there in response. Slayers. Last one left alive. Nade being prepped by Azza, forcing the hand of the Azami. Just has to dip away. Noah finds the plant, gets that down. And now Slayers, all pressure on him in the clutch. Has to try and find the defuse, and Astro finds the kill instead. And nice shot being called as... Yeah, that's the definition of a nice shot. Takes it down, and TT9, what a start.
Great stuff from TT9. I mean, they played their cards perfectly. The way they did it, yes, all right, they lost. They did lose. I think it was Kendrew really early on in the round. Not ideal, not what you exactly wanted. But I mean, Kanto there instantly to follow up with the refrag straight away there, gets it, and well then puts TT9 back on track, back in their winning ways, as we call it here, Pasta. And well, it pays off as Kanto then does find one more. I believe it was Choco that he found basically instantly after taking down Stacks. So
yeah,
it was just well played overall. But I'm looking at this operator lineup of Myth Pasta. We're seeing a Jaeger shotgun come out. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling that Stacks is regressing to just being a bit of a troll again. Obviously, hey, it could work out. I'm not entirely convinced by it, but we know the tendencies of Stacks to just get a little bit cheeky with some of the picks and some of the plays that come through from Myth, and picking the Jaeger shotgun, certainly one of those. Obviously bringing the observation blocker along as well is something that you very much like to see. That new utility now being placed, going to deny the intel from being gathered by the drone. You have to fully drive for it to be able to see past that. Shoko as well, bringing the Supernova on Echo, kind of a staple of him as well. You know, often on the Echo, often bringing the Supernova along with that as well. Puko, now that they have some frags inside of the game, hopefully going to be in a bit of a stronger situation, feeling himself a little bit more, you know, some of the hardest kills to get is your first one. Now that we do have that introduction, hoping it is a much better map for him, because you know, you just hate to see players having bad performances. You always like to see them popping up.
Yeah. We are seeing a Twitch in play, F2 in hand Pasta, which is also quite strange to me. I mean, I'm not going to worry about the Twitch and the F2. Azure and Astro finding two very quickly in succession, and well, now it puts TT9 once again on track. It's just not looking good for Myth. They just look like they can't do anything against this side of TT9.
Kendrick's already getting the plant down. As Astra's still setting up upstairs, Astro finds another kill. Shoko as well does find one back, finds a trade. Kanto though with a response as well. Slayer's the last player left alive here, finds one. That's Noah going down. Still 3 players left standing for TT9. And, well, Azza finds that pick, finds the kill. TT9, a very good start. Every round continuing to extend their lead. It's 3 rounds to 0 now. Myth unable to even get an iron inside of this game. And honestly, I kind of want to see a timeout either here or in the next round, especially if it goes 4-0 up. That's what I want to see. I want to see that timeout being called. Obviously, it didn't come to much success in that first map in Theme Park, but, you know, it could all change here. Myth are on the back foot here. They lost their own map picks, and now TT9 are very much in the advantage. They have the experience to be able to fight things back. Azza is 6-0 right now as well. So on TT9's own map pick, they are looking well and truly poised to take the win here in a swift 2-0 fashion, which, you know, a lot of people thought that Myth was going to win this. We thought, or at least, you know, I thought this would go to 3 maps. I thought this would be a very close series, but TT9, they're running away with things here on map 2.
They are, and it just seems that no matter what Myth do, Pasta, it's TT going to always come back and always have some way of just one-upping them, doing better. And it's just so unlike Myth. We've seen Myth. We've seen Myth be the team to beat, and now we're seeing them look like it's TT9 beating them like nothing. Yes, it's a tier 2 team. You'd still be expecting this side of Myth to be very, very, very confident, very good. Because with all things considered, each one of these players have, you know, not only had years of tier 4 experience, they've also had years of tier 3 experience, and some even at LAN. So I mean, I'm kind of surprised.
Well, that's the thing on Theme Park as well. We saw Myth not really be as aggressive as we saw in those group stage games, as we saw throughout the entirety of Series 9 as well. Myth didn't necessarily have that impact. They didn't necessarily have that aggression that we're used to seeing. Speaking of aggression though, TT9 very quickly rushing up these stairs. Hugo with one, another second with a shotgun. Astro finds one before being cut down by Slayers. Shoko as well finds a trade on Azza after Stacks gets taken down by a grenade. Kendrew does have the glass sniper. The Otis is in this situation. Slayers nearly getting taken down here. 100 seconds left on the clock as Kendrew finding his way into the side. It have to be a 1v3 to make this happen. And Swarm not going to get it done. Kendrew being shut down there. Myth find their first successful round, and it's a failed rush up the main stairs that gives them that opportunity. But at least they bring something back 1 round to 3.
I mean, a rush is... I don't want to say never a sensible idea, but again, we're literally just talking about this against a team like Myth, who have had probably years of experience against how to counter rushes. Do you really want to be taking them to a rush? Considering this is also, you know, quarterfinals, do you really want to be risking taking that rush? Do you really want to be risking it? Because again, if we lose this, you're done. You're out. So I think I won't lie here, but I think that's a bit dumb from TT9. I think they got too confident, and well, now we could potentially see Myth have a bit more momentum behind them, a bit more. Okay, we actually know what we're doing.
Okay, apparently I was muted. Okay, brilliant. I wasn't aware that I'd done that, but it happens. Again, I was just saying that Myth, hopefully they can sort of keep this winning streak going, because winning is a trend. You get that confidence going, and TT9, while it was necessarily maybe not the brightest play with hindsight, we're seeing the aggression. Myth didn't necessarily seem like they were prepared for the aggression in round number 3, so it makes sense that they try and go for something similar in that previous round.
Yeah, I have to agree. You know what, I have to agree with. But it doesn't matter what happened in the previous round. Swarms kicks it off, takes down Astro reasonably quickly, and well, Myth now have the man advantage early on in the round. As are going to be using both his frags here, and well, now have no more grenades to be using other than those flashes. And I lie, actually, they still have both Iana frags.
Azza wasn't aware of Swarm's position, apparently. Seems like something that might want to be called out. But Kendry's found 2 kills on Banana. Shoko does take down Kanto. Stacks being taken down by Noah before being traded out. Another kill for Shoko in this round. And Kendrew left yet again in a clutch situation. Has to try and find these kills. Finds a collection and the confirmation onto the first. That's Puko being felled. Kendrew might see this down player as well. That is indeed Stacks, but Slayers does a lot of damage. Finally shuts it down. Slayers, a kill there, and Myth Esports, they're back in the game here, Velocity. They've got 2 rounds.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying that the momentum now could maybe shift into Myth's favour, and well, it's looking likely that's what's happening. But nonetheless, just quickly diverting from this game here, we have just got word from our production team that the ISA?
ILES.
I think it was. IAS, sorry, been corrected. The IAS game versus Heroic. Second map went to Chalet, and well, they lost 7-2.
Map 3 though.
There is a map 3, which is, well, very, very interesting. Nonetheless, so back to this map then, Pastor. This is... this match is unfolding out in front of us now.
Yeah, absolutely. And this could very much be an even half, and I don't necessarily think that's the worst outcome. I don't think that's the worst outcome for Myth here. I really, really don't. Obviously, Bank, you could argue that it's attacker-sided. You could also argue that it's defender-sided, of course. You know, we do have those arguments, and it does look to be a bit defender-sided in the league so far, but it's only been played twice. So we don't necessarily have the information really necessary to back.
We don't have enough samples.
We don't have the sample size, but what we do have is an opening pick. That's Kanto taking down Swarm early on in this round. I believe that's now going to be a C4 gone. Good utility to take out from TT9, and Swarm was a very big player in Theme Park. Not quite finding the same impact here in Bank, but still a good player to take away regardless.
Most definitely, as you mentioned, that is one C4 gone. Now they do so have one in pocket of Puko, but it doesn't matter as two are found, and Puko is now in a 2 versus 2 alongside his teammate Choco. And TT9 full 5-man are probably going to be dropping the hatch, and Azar takes down Choco.
Key.
And now it's a 1 versus 5, and well, 1 versus 4.
No.
No, wait, what? It's a team kill. I thought Puko found one. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter. Kendrew takes him. What was that round? That hurt my brain a little bit. I won't lie to you.
4-2 half for TT9. Let's just move swiftly on from that. They get the 4-2 half, which could be instrumental because they already won that. They've already won map 1. Their opponent's map pick. Now they're on the home turf, if you will, and it's looking very, very good for them to be able to take things 2-0. Just pretty much run away with this.
Oh, most definitely. You know, this is still this game can still go either way, as you said. Myth are kind of on their home turf. I'd say they're more of an attacking side roster. Just their playstyles fit the attacking side. So it's ever so possible that they can come back in this as a driving force of this match, and well, then TT9 do slightly struggle. Alternatively, it could go the opposite way, and TT9 just have every counter under the sun and take a round against Myth, and well, then at that point, I think TT9 kind of ran away with it. But nonetheless, I mean, we just gonna have to wait and see, aren't we, Pastor? It's just gonna. It is the one thing we hate in casters, and it is waiting.
Yeah, we're so impatient, especially play-by-play. You're welcome for that one, everyone. What we will see is an Ossa coming along. There's not necessarily anything too stand out from that defensive composition that I really want to point out. The focus for me really is on the Ossa that we see from Choco again. Very popular operator for this player. And it is just going to provide that little bit of extra security inside of security, funny enough. And I didn't even... Okay, I kind of hate that happened. Either way, let's not talk about that because Stax has found the opening pick. Puko did find himself down. Kanto finds a trade onto Stax after Kendrew got taken down by that very thermite. That's now your hard breach utility gone. Choco is inside of Garage, just able to get the Talmate shield down in time, but the impact comes through. Shots as well. Vector of Kanto coming up big inside of this round, finding 2 kills so far as Puko gets picked up. Half the round is still left to go. Kanto still fishing for these extra kills, but it's Astro who actually finds one, taking out Swarm. Now a 2 versus 4 here, Velocity.
Not looking good. 2 versus 3 passes. Slayer takes down Zara, and well, it's a 2 versus 2. As Slayer finds one more, and the player in dirt, Puko, does find one more, and now it's a 2 versus 1 passer. It's all gone a bit wrong here. For the side of CT9, a 1 versus 1, as it's 3
Oh.
What's happened there then?
We've had the game crash. That's unlucky. That's so unfortunate.
Oh dear. Well,
no.
Oh no.
What a clutch from Noah, everyone! Give it up for Noah. Woo!
I don't know how we. I don't know how we make light of this situation because that was just unfortunate.
That's so sad.
I can't help but laugh. Oh no. Oh dear.
Man, you get to see our faces again, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Velocity. Good to have you back. We didn't really get to talk through it in the opening.
No, let's talk through.
We couldn't really give predictions for this game, but before the game? What did you think? Before this map, what did you think was going to happen? obviously.
Well, it was Bank. It was TT9. I kind of had to favour TT9 going into this, tier 2 team. That do play Bank. I'd say a reasonable amount for, a team. And they know they know their way around it. They know their way how to play. And, well, they're clearly showing it against the Silent Myth no matter what they've done. And especially in this round, they just counter it. No matter what. No matter what's thrown at them, as you said, they brought the Osa. And instead of taking the Osa to security, they took the Osa to garage. And they counted it perfectly.
Yeah, for sure. We are just going to throw it to a quick break just for the moment. When we come back, we will just jump straight into the action. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss the conclusion of Bank and possibly Villa. Map 3 still up in the air. It's all to come. See you in a few. time for more
That
bank.
was not rehearsed or planned or anything. I want to point that out. That was actually perfectly synced. Pasta. Our chemistry. Well, we are back.
Unparalleled.
We are back.
Top floor.
5-2. Yeah, top floor, 5-2 to TT9 here, and well, it is looking like TT9 could potentially take this, but as you said just before we went on the break, map 3 definitely still up in the air and still quite a high option, quite a likely option for this game, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
Choco though is bringing the Osa
Again.
Will it work? It's the question. I mean, it didn't exactly work last time, and no way Kanto finds one from the spawn peak, right?
It might. There's possibility, but it seems like they're aware of it. They're just gonna send some shots through, let Kanto be aware that they've spotted out his location, and well, he's just gonna dip away. He doesn't necessarily want to get too silly about it. Doesn't necessarily want to get too aggressive. And it's the understandable decision. However, Slayers is going to take down Azza. Kendry trading out with Puko. Slayers now being taken down low as well. I believe that's from Astro or maybe even Kanto. So a lot of damage onto Myth. HP advantage in the favour of TT9, but the player count still remains level, which means Slayers is still going to be possible to hit some heads. Obviously, you only need 1 HP and a gun to be able to kill someone. Obviously, because of that one hit headshot, it's 1 shot to kill. Anything can happen, especially when you get some good old latency and ping involved, as Noah's going to find one. Shoko being dealt down a lot of damage as well. Bit of heat traded back onto Noah as well, but within this first minute, we've seen a lot of action and TT9 coming out the better of it.
Yeah, TT9 and as we're saying, TT9 coming out the better of it. Astro finds one, Choco out, and that is again that's the Osa clearly not potentially working, not really working as Kanto finds stacks on the rappel, and well, it's all up to Slayers, who is a slither of HP, and it only takes a bullet to skid past him.
Yeah, he could get like sneezed on and he would just fall over, right? That's the level of HP that we're talking about here. You can see TT9 getting aggressive up on that balcony, up on terrace, trying to find those kills. The shots are going to come through a little bit. They now know of this position just behind that nice C4, just behind that blue barricade. C4 is going to go out and is going to find it on the second time of asking. And TT9, 6 rounds to 2. Their map pick certainly looking very strong. What? What is he doing? Oh boy.
This match is full of surprises, but nonetheless, match point 6-2, and well, we're saying it just at the start of this round. Sorry, Pasta. That map 3 was quite a high likely option for this match.
Yeah, not anymore.
And it's just looking like it's ever so slightly out of their grasp, and I have to say, I think TT9 have to take this now.
Yeah, and one thing I want to see as well is, because obviously there's a lot at stake here, it's not just the spot in the semi-finals, which is of course important. Only the top 4 get that prize money as well. So if you win this match, you're guaranteed at least 150 euros. If you lose this match, you're going home with nothing. This is the stakes that we're on about here. And another thing as well is going to be that is going to be the fact that we don't actually know their opponent yet. Usually, the Heroic Illas game would have happened yesterday, and the GG Destiny game would have happened on Tuesday, but we've had a couple of scheduling conflicts, things have had to be jiggled around. The Heroic Illas game is happening as we speak. It's currently tied up 1-1 in terms of maps. They're on the map 3, which is Oregon, so thankfully we're not casting that one. But yeah, we will keep you updated as soon as we get the result of that game. Pardon me, because the winner of this one will be facing the either Illas Academia Spirit or Heroic. It was a 7-5 victory for Illas on map 1. It was a 7-2 victory for Heroic on map 2. So obviously keep that in the back of your mind as well, as we head into potentially the final round here on Bank, and it's going to be, I believe, a staff room and open area defense to possibly kick off the final round of this evening.
Most definitely. Don't tell me he's been misdroned. Oh, no, he's going to be devastated.
Oh,
they know he's there. What's happening here?
Able to land the shots though. Azza's able to find the kill. Shoko will be a little bit annoyed about that one. I certainly would be, as Astro finds another. You can hear the ACS-12 of Kendra as well, bringing out, applying some pressure onto the attack of Myth as it rotates back upstairs this time. Yet again, Kanto getting back in on the action. Swarm finds a response, finds a trade, but it might just be all for naught. As Stack's being taken down by Azza, the headshot comes through. Swarm is the only player left standing, the only hope for Myth Esports inside of this series, inside of the tournament even, as Azza preps the C4, is able to find the shots as well, but doesn't connect them all. Swarm with 10 HP finds that shot, but Kendrew shuts it down. GG's in the chat. It's a 7-2 victory for TT9 as they prove yet again why they won all the games in their group. They prove yet again why they're in Tier 1. And Myth, they just couldn't quite do it in the final moments here. What a victory for the UK side, as I believe the majority of the roster is. I don't believe what I've just seen. That's ridiculous.
I have to say that was such a good win for TT9. And I mean, I have to say I am ever so slightly disappointed with Myth. I mean,
yeah,
they were just such a force to be reckoned with. And I mean, they had a pretty tough group stage, and they did reasonably. I think they came, was it second in their group?
Yeah, they won all the matches, but because of all their overtime games, they came second because of round difference and all of that. Blah blah blah. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's very complicated, but overall had a very good group, and well, to come into obviously the quarterfinals and to get 2-0'd series and then 7-2'd in your last map isn't the greatest.
Ideal.
It isn't ideal, is it?
No.
But I mean, they put up I mean, the 2 rounds they got in Bank, and I don't know what their performance was like on the previous map, but the 2 rounds they had on Bank were very good, and they looked very promising. They even had me at one point going, hang on, what's happening here? And
Pyuko could have got a clutch as well, but
exactly.
Unfortunately, we had that disconnect come through, and that honestly could have altered the entire course of that game because they had the nade prepped onto Noah. That was possibly going to get the kill as well, and then it becomes like 4 rounds to 3 or something. It becomes a lot closer than what we ended up seeing that scoreline being. That one round, that one unfortunate little bug, and Myth kind of have fallen apart from it. But that's enough from us. You don't want to hear us waffle on about it. We've got some people that are far more accomplished and far more experienced at waffling. And some of them are smarter. Noctish is. We're going to throw it back to the desk. Puffer Bob, Noctish, take it away.
Well, I don't want to be toxic, but I suggest Myth to completely restructure. I mean, like when in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 5 players of TT9 are literally inside. It can wrap up what actually happens in this matchup. Something that I said in the first map, it continued into the second map for Myth. They were unable to close the entry points against TT9. They were completely all over the place. They didn't know how to find the flaws. They couldn't read the TT9's game, and everything from TT9's side was on point. And I have to kind of disagree with what Past said. I believe even if that letterbug didn't happen, still the result would be kind of saying maybe 1 round up for uh, Myth team, but still TT9 would have closed this game. There were huge amount of problems from Myth side, which you can pinpoint until morning. every single one of them, from positioning, from backup, from droning, from cam watch, from synchronization between players. This is very important because I believe when you watch a football game,
Yeah.
let's say for example it's La Liga or you can say like Premier League, you see those players are able to find each other blindfolded. This is the beauty of soccer. But this is a perfect example as how this should happen in esports, in the FPS games. You need to understand where is your teammate and can you completely count him in as a backup for you. Myth couldn't do that at all. There were huge amount of flaws in their defense, especially as I mentioned, round 6, 2 minutes and 10 seconds into the round, and 5 player of team TT9 were in the side. It was, I think, 5v1 or 4v1 at the
Yeah.
end when it was closed.
Oh yeah, it was kind of dominating for TT9. It seemed like not only were there huge dents and mistakes from the side of Myth, TT9 just kind of took advantage of them constantly. And I mean, with the scores we had, it was just off the record. Now, I mean, we should be getting an interview with TT9, the man, the myth, the legend, Kendrew, and he's second right now. But all right, yeah, then let's get it started. We did get confirmation from the side of production. Kendrew, hello. Yep, Kendrew.
Hello.
Hello. How? Firstly, I mean, amazing match. You guys absolutely outperformed. But how are you feeling?
Feeling good, good. It was nice to get a win under our belt.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were absolutely dominant. I mean, oh my goodness, the absolute amount of aggression you guys brought in was just absolutely insane. But we do have some questions for you, so yeah, buckle your seat. You're gonna be on an answering spree right now. Now, just to start it off, I mean, it's kind of just obvious. Is the aggression a part of your play style? Was it a bit of testing? What made you decide to be so aggressive in these two matches?
I mean, if we're talking honestly, we had a scrim before this game
Okay.
versus Eminem, and I'm not gonna lie, we got our asses handed to us a little bit, so we decided that we're just gonna play, we're just gonna try and play like as aggressive as possible, like, and just have some fun and maybe enjoy, because it wasn't the best, I'll be honest, guys.
So you just decided to take it out all on poor Myth right then and there.
Yeah, a
All
little bit.
right. Fair point. But, you said it was a bit more out of fun, but it seemed like these aggression, the pushes, everything, it kind of seemed like perfectly timed and the positioning was there. I mean, on Theme Park, Astral, I believe, just ran into sight, managed to get himself 3-4 kills. There's no way that was just all coincidental, no?
No, it's not coincidental. I mean, we
Yeah.
have like because obviously it's like this is like a new roster, like we've been trialing for a while. So like what we've been trying to do is like my philosophy of playing, because obviously I'm yelling, is like to try and at least do everything together. Like try and if you're gonna make a play, like I don't really care. Like individual plays can sometimes win you rounds, but they can also sometimes lose you rounds, I guess. Um, and it's basically just trying to get everyone involved. So Astra is a very vocal player. Like if he's going to make a play, he's going to make a play and make everyone aware that he's making that play. So obviously, like if he wants to do like a play, like walk into sight, then we'll try and follow him. So you saw multiple times. I think it was the very last round actually where I've literally walked into the bomb site, died.
Yeah.
His team killed his friend, like his teammate on the other side of the bomb site, and Astra's refragged. So it's just like plays like that. It's like my philosophy of trying to make sure that if we're doing something, at least try and get everyone involved.
That's actually perfect. You get one guy rushing in, it's the entire team just shutting everything down. So, if it worked out, props to you, man. That was absolutely great to watch. But, I'm still wondering, it was on Theme Park. It was already just insane watching it. I mean, the amount you were bringing in, but how did you manage to just do the exact same, bringing it onto Bank as well?
I mean, theme park is a map that's like it's very defender sided. If we're being honest, like so,
Yeah.
you kind of need to be a bit crazy sometimes in order to win rounds. Just out of the basis of like the structure of the map is very defender, like leaning towards the defender side. But I mean, I think it just comes down to play style, really. Like I said, my philosophy is kind of like do things fast. Maybe take some shortcuts here and there. Maybe it wins us around. Maybe sometimes it loses us. But if as long as we're trying to do things together, like and do these crazy plays, I don't really mind what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, all right, fair enough. It still worked out, but what, from your perspective at least, I'm not trying to bring any bullying onto the side of me, but what would you point out were their biggest weaknesses?
I don't know, to be honest, because I just focus on us. I mean, I think obviously the fact that we're a T1 team, and they're being like in a quarter final against us is kind of just unlucky for them. I think that we were just the better team. Is like as brutal and as harsh as that is. I mean, they're not bad players though. Like they do have some like the Swarms guys like actually really good. I think like they definitely have some potential, and if they just grind it out, I think they could be decent. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Now, you're going to be going into the semifinals. This is getting really close to the grand match. Now, what are your plans? And to be honest, are there any teams you're keeping an eye out for?
Is Heroic still in?
I do believe, yes, they are
Okay.
in the match. They're right now, they're playing the third match.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to play Heroic in the final. I've never beaten Heroic. I mean, it'd be nice to beat them maybe. So to keep an eye on them. Other than that, like, we'll just take it round by round and see what happens.
All right, going in for a challenge. Always love to see it. Now, that was mostly it. Thank you again. Very nice match. But before we do finish it off, are there any shout outs? Do you want to give a shout out to anyone watching, maybe?
I saw my brother in the chat. Shout out to my brother. Shout out Callum. Other than that, not really.
not all right, fair points. Shout out to Kendra's brother for being in the chat for him. But yeah, that's gonna be all for the interview, but not all for the stream. We still have many topics to bring up, and one of them will be the Talent League Rainbow Six Season 3 mid-season tournament that you should join, if of course possible. It's going to be from the 10th of July to the 16th, and if you can't play, might as well tune in, might as well watch. It's going to be live for a couple of days, and the signups are open, of course, on the 25th of June and close on the 28th of July at 20 CST. So make sure to tune in. It's going to be big. It's going to be pretty exciting, but also make sure to tune in to the first semifinals coming up tomorrow and get ready for the grand finals, because it's about to get pretty heated, if you ask me. And without further ado, I think that should be it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the production. Thank you, Kendrew, for the interview and both of the teams to playing. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow.